Good afternoon. This is Brian Split with Allendale here for your closing commentary for the week ending Friday, August 26, 2011. And what a week it was. We did have a very strong finish to the week for the grain contracts, with funds stepping in today and taking out very serious resistance for corn and soybeans. The September contract for corn was up 20.25 cents today. Last trade at 7.52.5, and that is up 41.5 cents on the week. We did have December corn up 23.5. Last trade was 7.67, and that is up 41.75 on the week. We did have the funds buy approximately 20,000 contracts of corn. On the soybean market, September beans up 28.75 at 14.14.75. That is up 55 on the week. Also up 55 cents is the November contract. That was up 30.75 on the day at 14.23.5, and the funds did buy about 8,000 contracts of soybeans. On the wheat markets, we did have all three exchanges show higher prices today. December Chicago wheat up 9.25 at 7.97, briefly trading over $8 a bushel. That is up 35.75 for the week. The December Kansas City contract up 19.5 today at 8.92. That is up 49.25 on the week, and that was the leader of the wheat market this week. While we did have the September Minneapolis contract up 21.5 on the day at 9.56.25, although that is only up 11 on the week. And the funds did buy about 4,000 contracts of wheat today. But really the main thing for the grains, we've got continued yield concerns. We've got hot and dry in the extended forecast. That's helping support the soybeans during pod fill. And we also had some export news this morning. It's been a while since we've seen a good-sized purchase of corn, but an unknown buyer did balk ahead of today's trade and bought corn, and it looks like it turned out to be a good buy when all is said and done. But 365,000 tons of corn sold to an unknown buyer, part of that being for the 11-12 marketing year, and about a third of that being for the 12-13 marketing year. We also had the results of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour released after the close today, and they gave us a yield on corn of 147.9 and 41.8 on soybeans. So we would expect that yield number for corn should continue to support the market. And the bean number, it looks like we have the potential to have a crop, but again, we need to have some moisture to help fill these pods, and if that doesn't happen, this market should go higher here. As far as wheat, we continue to have concerns that drought in the plains may hamper the seeding for the 2012 winter wheat crop, and that is why you've got the Kansas City market leading the way at this point. But overall, we've mentioned time and time again that November soybeans have traded above $14 several times and have not managed to close above that level. Today was the 9th time that we did trade above 14, but the only difference is that we managed to close above it today. And during previous recordings, I personally have mentioned that I believe that a close over 14 would bring in more speculative interest into this market, and it does make the charts look awful friendly as well. So we'll see how we come into next week as far as that's concerned. As far as the meat markets, October hogs down just 2 today at 87.20 coming into the recording as far as the last on the Globex trade. December up 22 at 84.67. On the cattle, we did have August up 37 at 114.22. The October up 137 at 115.47. And as far as the meat markets today, we did have some general support from higher equity trade. Meats trading lower early with equities, and as the equities recovered after Bernanke talked this morning, we did have a recovery in the meat markets as well. We also have investors drawn to the hog market based on the large discount to the CME index, and we'll see if that plays any further into this market. But these markets are still respecting these short-term downtrends that we've been in for the past couple of weeks. Now we are seeing some support in the deferred contracts from higher corn prices based on the idea that higher corn will limit expansion, creating tighter numbers down the road. We also do have talk of a possible top in wholesale beef, and there are some concerns that the hurricane on the East Coast will severely limit meat demand here moving forward in the next several weeks. But again, a lot of these markets, whether the fundamentals may be bullish or bearish, are still subject to the general macroeconomic influence. And if the funds want to be buyers of commodities, they may come in here and still support the meat market as well. As far as the outside markets, these equities, again, have worked their way higher from lower trade early. The Dow futures up about 80 points, S&P futures up about 10, and NASDAQ futures up about 40. Looks like the dollar index, after trying to rally after Bernanke's speech this morning, is down about 50 points at 73.86. We are lower, but we are still holding the range that we've been trading since May. And it is a big range. We're at the lower end of that range. And if this market cannot make new contract lows after Bernanke's speech, we may very well find some support in this area. So we'll keep an eye on that. As far as crude oil, unchanged today, even though there was a lot of buying in various outside markets. There is a concern for short-term demand based on the hurricane on the East Coast, and you got to imagine that there's not going to be a lot of driving being done over the weekend, and that's probably one of the reasons why we did have some pressure in the energy markets today. But again, if the general macroeconomic markets will be supportive in the next several weeks, we would expect crude oil to find support in this area as well. As far as the metals, we've seen a lot of volatility in the metals this week. Gold up about $53 an ounce, and that's at about $18.16, and that is $110 off of yesterday's lows. So this market is making very big moves. Silver is also participating in this, up about 40 cents today, so not quite as much strength there. Currently trading at about 41.15. And that is your wrap up for the week. If you have any questions, please give us a call at 1-800-2-MARKET. That's 1-800-262-7538. You can also look us up online at www.allendale-inc.com. And please, if you haven't already done so, we are doing our annual yield survey. We've got 1 week left, and you can do that survey by giving us a call at the phone number or filling out the survey online. So please do so if you haven't done so yet, and good luck trading to you next week. Thank you.